Now, I want to share a word to the church. If you're a visitor here today and you wonder what's going on, you've come to very important days in the life of our church. And so let me ask for a spirit of grace and peace as I share with you today. It's been almost 2 months since I shared with the fellowship the challenge that we face as a church with regard to the sustainability of the North Campus buildings. I drew your attention especially to the age and size and accelerating costs of the North Campus buildings, most of which have been here for more than 40 years. Having determined that something significant needed to occur, we called the church to prayer for 40 days, and we have sought the Lord. What has the Lord done for us in this time? Well, we've continued to pray and minister and worship and baptize, but also we've been able to process our thoughts and feelings, and it's not been easy for any of us. I can't speak for everybody, but I do know that the Lord has been working in our hearts and on our hearts. We've been looking to Him, and that's always good. And I do believe that there's been a unifying work among the fellowship and a tenderizing of hearts. Our last 2 prayer meetings have been characterized with a real sense of fellowship and love, a sense of the Lord's presence. Our baptism and barbecue was very sweet and outstanding in fellowship and a welcome given and received mutually. The bond of peace and unity, I believe, has been strengthened. We experienced the same thing on our trip, even in another continent, in Greece and Turkey, where we experienced that same fellowship too. Personally, I want to thank you for so many encouragements in personal conversations, texts, and emails and cards. We have a good people in this church. I just want to step back one moment and just say we are thankful for everything that's been accomplished in the name of Jesus through the ministry of New Hope. Our work actually will be assessed in heaven and by heaven, and it's for the Lord to determine what part of that comes forth as gold. I believe, I'd like to think there will be much. We are thankful, and there'll be time to give thanks. I'm thankful for all lasting fruit that goes into eternity. Philippians 1:6, being confident that he who began a good work in you, that was a word spoken to a church, will complete it. So from my vantage point, I want to testify to so much. I don't believe there's been a failure. There's no blame. I don't think we should feel embarrassed. Quite the opposite. People are praying for us and are with us. We have ministered to the community that have come on our property. It's not always led to being saved or joining the church or giving to sustain the church, but we rejoice in all those who've been saved, baptized, and become part of the fellowship. In fact, can we give God praise for all that He has accomplished, my dear friends? Now, I want to emphasize and just spend a couple more minutes on this before I share what's going to happen next. But I want to emphasize that our leaders believe that we've tried everything we could. I don't want to spend hours on this, but since the rejuvenation of this actual facility, you may not know that occurred, we've continued to invest much in the North Campus. Actually, just so you can understand this, very little comparatively has been invested in the South Campus. That's a fact. Since 2017, the majority of the giving has come from the South Campus, and most of the spending has indeed been on the North Campus. Since then, we've had 5 building projects, and every one of them has been for the North Campus. Some of you will remember Raise the Roof. Some of you remember the investment we made in the children's buildings. Most recently, the most recent of those was the investment in the children's playground, much of which, in fact, the majority of which did in fact come from the South Campus, which that campus has continued to grow. Now, I also want to say, did this get sprung upon us? We've had multiple rallies at the North Campus with our family groups. Pastor Al could not have been more inspiring or encouraging nor hardworking, but Pastor Al would often say in our rallies, we're around about 400 people. To be sustainable, we need to be 800 or 1,000. Let's try and start with the next 600 or the next 800. And so for some years, we've been emphasizing the importance of this. We've strategized together. We've tried everything we believe we could. And finally, we came to that sort of spiritual roll call to just call everybody together just to say, look, this is getting quite urgent now. I wonder whether it's even been a miracle that we've been able to sustain the 2 largest campuses in Fayette County, that we've been able to sustain that for a quarter of a century. In some ways is quite miraculous. But this is what I want to say next. with the unanimous agreement of our executive team, led by myself, the pastor, including Tim Woodruff, our executive pastor, Joe Pritchard, our business administrator, Al Mead, Ellis Daniel, Zeke Listenby, and Rich Terry. On behalf of the agreement of our finance team, chaired by Gary Butler, made up of beloved church members, and with the unanimous affirmation of our wonderful deacons, chaired by Carl Thomason and co-chaired by Tony Plunkett, as your loving pastor, I announce to you that we're going to begin to worship under one roof at the South Campus from October the 26th. The information I'm going to give to you next is going to be on a sheet that we're going to hand to you as you leave the service. But the next thing I want to say is that our worship times will be 8:45 and 10 o'clock. We also have a plan to make room available for every family group from the North Campus and the South Campus into 3 different family group hours that will be at 8:45, 10, and 11:15. So that's going to mean change for everybody for how we worship, when we worship, and for our different family group hours. We had a very positive meeting with our family group leaders at the South Campus this week, which was outstanding. Thank you, Pastor Al, for blessing the leaders today. We've got tremendous leaders. They're meeting again next Sunday, the 12th. They're already up with our story. And then we're going to have an open house on October the 19th at the South Campus between 2 and 5 p.m. for everybody together so that we can find our rooms, we can get our bearings and assemble at the South Campus there that we're going to start calling New Hope Together for the time being. That's not a change of the name of the church. That's just a season that we're in. So we're going to have united groups also for every age group. So we won't go to the South Campus and we find there's a North Campus group for 6th graders and a South Campus group. Those are going to be united. That means, and this is painful, but let me just state what's next. Our last Sunday at the North Campus will be the 19th of October when we're going to break bread and have communion together. Our last Wednesday is the 22nd of October. This is all on the sheet. Our last Wednesday is on the 22nd, and we're going to start our Wednesday nights on the 29th of October. So that's a big week for us, October the 26th and October the 29th. Our weekday ministry will continue through till May, and there'll be special attempts to protect those relationships well past into the future as well. So our first Sunday of New Hope Together is October the 26th, and you've got this information that's going to be available to you at the end of the service. This is big news for us to process today, but I know we've been processing it together for a couple of months. After a period of uncertainty, and churches, no one likes uncertainty going on forever and ever, but after this period of uncertainty, of seeking God and challenge and even pain, I believe it's time for us to look forward. It's a monumental shift for all of us who've been worshiping here at the North Campus, but our trust is in the same God who's blessed the campus in the past. It's also a big change for the South Campus too. It is significant for them. And the South Campus also has heard this word from me this morning as well. We do actually have a master plan for the South Campus buildings, which we had to put on hold, especially when we were talking to the school for those 6 months together. We've put that on hold, and we'd like to show you those plans in due course that can be exciting for us. I believe it will be the opportunity to be part of something special. So let me invite every member of the North Campus. I'm going to ask you to come with us, to join us. I know that'll be a challenge and a stretch, and you can look on Waze or the maps, and you can figure out how long it takes to get from your home to there on a Sunday morning. But I believe that though these could be painful days for us on October the 12th and October the 19th, and to be honest with you, you probably know I felt the chill in the last couple of months with you, and it's been a painful season. But I pray that we can finish well. We're going to have baptisms next week here at the North Campus. We're going to have communion together on the 19th, and then we're going to be New Hope together. I want to say that I love you. I've been praying for you. Thank you for your prayers as well. I do believe that we have an incredible group of leaders who've done and you've heard how many leaders I've been describing with the teams I've mentioned. We've got a wonderful group of leaders who have tried to do everything we possibly could for the good of this church, and we believe it's time for us to move into one campus. We don't believe we can have these are the 2 largest campuses in Fayette County. but to sustain both of those, you can see, is not possible any longer. And so this is the way forward. We pray that each one of us can seek God. I want to thank my wife Louise and for my family and all the leaders who have just been carrying this burden for some time. But I'm looking forward now, after this period of uncertainty, to stepping into what God has in store for us.